Hello, everyone, and welcome back to semifinal round 3 back 9 coverage of the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship presented by Barbasol. Jeremy Koling, Paul Ulibarri bringing you the back 9 out here at the Matt Keats Memorial Course at Nevin Park.
Yeah, Simon, clean round, not a lot of birdies. He gives himself an outside chance to post a good number. Same with Chris Dickerson along with Joel Freeman, on the other hand, him and Matt Orum, they need to get to work. That one stroke is actually 2 strokes because of the point system. So you got to think that ties are not going to help you here.
There's 3 people ahead of them that they have the tie break advantage in, but Calvin Heimberg is currently sitting at 2 under, and he would defeat Simon or Chris Dickerson if they happen to tie at the end of the round. Obviously, right now, the advantage goes to Ricky, to Paul McBeth, and Gannon Burr. 6 under on the front 9 is the best score we've seen by a stroke, and that is some remarkable play. He is on fire right now. Moving on to hole 10, the most demanding tee shot on the entire course, full of demanding tee shots. This is a very difficult hole. And Chris pushes it as far down the right side as possible and gets the roll towards the basket. That is inside the circle. Incredible drive for Chris Dickerson. Matt trying the same line and just unable to hyzer in time.
Is it flippy enough? Can he catch a backdoor route? He does.
That is, for all intents and purposes, your work is mostly done. I mean, just securing the easy par is a huge bonus on 10. Obviously, par is not going to be good enough for Simon for the rest of the way, but par on 10 is fine.
Yes. I totally agree. This is just a tough spot.
And with that kick, I mean, I don't see a situation where Joel's heart can remain in it at this point. Being 1 over par, he's close to going 2 over par, and at that point, I mean, that pretty much slams shut his chances of moving on. If he wants to go in, this has got to go in.
Yeah, and at home, I know you want to believe like, oh, well, they can throw it in, get eagles. This is not that type of course. You have to throw a perfect shot just to get in position so you can throw something to 35 short and then make a putt. This isn't some kind of course where you always have an opportunity to just run an eagle and be
it's landing zone golf.
Super aggressive. That's why we keep emphasizing as Chris gets a much needed
monster birdie.
Big time. A lot of emphasis on if you're over par after the front 9, you're not coming back from that. And the only people who have proven to do that are not on this card, like a Ricky or a Paul, who've kind of been in that situation before.
Joel does connect on the bogey, but I do feel like his chances, and his season is coming to an end at the end of this round. But in a way, that's kind of a nice pressure relief. Now he can kind of go out and have some fun and just enjoy that he's getting heavily rewarded for his efforts this season. $5,500 is a great payday for any player. That pays for gas for the year and then some.
And he can come off of the season knowing that he had a great one. You know, top 10 finish at the USDGC. He won a Silver Series event. He's been knocking at the door of these big tournaments.
One of the best rounds we've ever seen in the woods.
Oh, it's the best round of the year.
Yeah.
By far, in my opinion.
Chris Dickerson, whose season is certainly not over. Now he is at 2 under par, and he is looking to add another birdie to the stretch.
Oh, and he turns around.
That's perfect. The mistake we've been seeing all week is players go over hyzer and then they find the shorter side of this hill and they roll all the way down to the bottom. Chris Dickerson does not make that mistake, goes dead straight and has a great look for the birdie. This is the mistake I think we've seen. Oh, look at that, hanging on at the last second. Perfect touch for Matt Orum.
Too heavy on the hyzer. Is he now in the spot where he absolutely has to run that? Tell me, Jerm. You're Simon Lizotte. You see the scores.
Not quite. And it's weird, but not quite.
Okay.
Just because this whole, I don't know, maybe.
And Joel gets the best kick ever.
If he can see the basket, he runs it.
He's not.
But
he is. No,
he's not.
I think he was. Otherwise, you would have thrown a low shot. And so I think he might have been trying to push it
like
to where
a basketball shot. Yeah.
To where it comes back. Otherwise, you would have just kind of tossed it low and slid it up there.
Well, Chris Dickerson is picking the right time to get hot. 4 under in the last 5. And if you take this hole away, I mean, this is the hardest stretch in the course. 7, 8, 9, 10. You don't see many birdies to this stretch. I mean, look at the other scores on the card. The rest of the card combined is 2 over on this stretch. So obviously he is doing some solid work here in this middle stretch, and now he is at 3 under par, and he is firmly in the mix of being able to move on.
Hole 12, though, you can breathe a little easier on this hole. Par 3, 346. There's 2 routes. One straight, tighter route on the right-hand side, and then there's this left-hand side, which you'll see most of the players take. Sidearm hyzer, late flipping turnover. It's just a bigger fairway over here on the left-hand side, but I have seen quite a bit of people take that right side.
It looks like Chris is lining up that right side straight. This needs to stand up a bit if it wants to get all the way down. Early tree kick, or it's a late tree kick rather. Outside chance of making a long putt for the birdie. This is turning a bit soon.
That's okay, though.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Matt and Simon can't really afford many more pars. Not on these par 3s that are very gettable. The next couple are much harder to get. This is one you need to pick up. And Simon a little early with the forehand. This is looking really good.
Oh, yes.
Yep. See how that went straight for most of the flight and then just kind of had that nose up so it just stalled and dropped? That's exactly how you line this up for the forehand. The low straight forehand usually means you're going to get a big skip or you're going to hit one of these big beech tree that defines the fairway.
Chris is actually closer than all of them. Okay, not the hole you want to par.
That being said, out of the 12 players playing today, arguably the 12 best players on tour, 2 birdies.
That is absolutely dumbfounding.
And you disregarded Joel as being one of those because Joel was parked.
Yeah, no, pardon me. Yeah, Joel almost aced it.
The only other birdie on the day was Calvin Heimberg, and that was from 38 feet away. So this hole was playing pretty tricky.
Yeah, but you've played the course. This is one you're kind of licking your chops when you come up to it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're comparing it to the rest of the holes, it feels like you can kind of give yourself you're not so worried about the bogey.
Yep.
But the pressure to birdie is almost just as intense as how to not bogey the other holes.
Talk about intense.
Yeah, and pressure to not bogey. Hole 13, folks. This is one of those ones where you're just hoping. You got to power up through this gap.
Yep.
And when you power up through this tiny corridor, bad things can happen if you're off by an inch.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Mason Ford actually go.
And look at another tree direction for Joel, just missing his line once again. But
Yeah, we saw Mason go mid-range putter upshot. I don't think these guys have that option. this. Go.
Chris, can it get to the top of the hill? It does. It's still going to be well short of what he'd like for the birdie look, but he is clear of any bogey danger. And Matt can say the same thing, but he is not quite in the position that Chris is in. He's going to need to run that putt. Wow. Simon as well. A good drive, not excellent.
All pretty good drives. You would take all of these almost every time, except for today.
Right, yeah. And in a competitive traditional stroke play event, I think all 4 of these guys are just fine with the results, but this is not your traditional. Simon's birdie bid coming up short. Adio missing off to the right side. We have yet to see a player really step up and seize this opportunity.
Yeah, the moments are right there. You can see it.
And we've seen it all week so far. I mean, yesterday, Aaron Gossage just knocking down 60-footer after 70-footer, and not willing to give up anything to the course. These guys have had plenty of putts.
Yeah, momentum changing opportunities they've definitely had.
But there's something about this format that can really seize up the player's tendency to just play free. You're definitely looking at scores and playing situational golf the whole way through, unlike a traditional stroke play event.
Hey everyone, I want to talk to you about our friends over at DISC Store. DISC Store has the lowest prices on every disc, backed by a 5% price match guarantee. They offer same-day, fast shipping, and the world's greatest customer service. With a massive selection, unbeatable prices, and the best staff in the world, let them help you with your next order. Use code JOMEZ10 at checkout to save 10% at discstore.com this week only. That promo code works on everything from their wide range of discs and bags all the way to their baskets and their brand new state-of-the-art chain finder. Head over to discstore.com to get your order started. Again, that's 10% off on top of their guaranteed lowest prices with code JOMEZ10 at discstore.com.
Hole 14, just 5 holes remaining in the semifinals. Par 3. 366 feet as you go up the hill up to here, and then it's downhill, completely blind basket from the tee. The players are going to go with a turnover with maybe a mid-range, perhaps a fairway driver, and there's also a chance to go with a wide forehand.
Very surprised to see Joel actually go into the turnover, but not
Gator
when you
3.
not when you throw shots like that. A little short.
Yeah.
To be expected, Gator 3 is a lot to get there.
It is.
For anybody.
Joel really leans on that Gator for a lot of Anheuser shots, which most players who are bagging a Gator are not going Anheuser with them. But that's something that Joel really likes, as you mentioned on the front 9, likes to take his overstable discs and throw them hard with Anheuser.
Dickerson gives him another opportunity just outside the circle there. A few feet.
Matty O just a bit too wide on that Anheuser line. And Simon heavy on the turn. That connects on a tree about midway up the fairway. And Matty O coming up a short again. He's going to be edge of circle for his par. Oh, no. Simon.
Going for the long make and pushes
and
it to the right. That's going to be a big mistake because he doesn't make... He makes this. Oh, my gosh. That looked good.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it for Simon. There's no way. I mean, at this point, if he birdies the next 4 holes,
yeah,
he shoots 4 under. And that's not going to be
eagling
enough.
17, but 5. I don't know if 5 is going to be enough.
Oh, Chris has missed, and this has stood up and rolled. And once again, I mean, there is just an invisible board over the basket, it seems, and it affects Matty O as well. The putting woes are continuing here for our second card. Chris able to knock down the par. Very important par hit for Chris because he's essentially the last player in this group that has an opportunity to move on, as Matty O and Simon are both, best case scenario, going to be at even par.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, the rest of the card should be grabbing Chris's bag, grabbing a towel,
Yeah.
rubbing his shoulders, and trying to push him,
Right
through to the next round. Because that's really what you do in this situation.
Sure.
You get out of that guy's way. And
There's a certain bit of pride, I suppose, in the guy on your card making it through.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if none of you have a chance,
Right. I mean, at this point, they get to kind of maybe reflect on the fact that this is the last 4 holes of their 2022 touring season. And like I said before, what an incredible season it has been for them to play well enough to get a bye all the way to the semifinals. I mean, it really is a testament to just an entire season of work and dedication to the tour. Hole 15, par 4. This is the hole that Niklas Antila eagled. I mean, and I say eagled, it's an albatross every other day of the year besides when this event is held, because this is a par 5 forever until this weekend.
Look at this drive. Picture
That's
perfect.
A pretty good drive.
That's so far up there. So important for Chris to just make this corner, get a good spot in the fairway.
Yep.
Pretty good. Kind of tight, but that allows him for the big, long backhand turnover. So
Yeah, I like that side for the backhand Anheuser angle. I think that he's going to like it too when he gets up there. And right about this time, Matty O starts looking at his phone and starts checking scores between the Alabama and Tennessee game. I'm not going to give any spoilers for anyone at home that has not watched that yet, but it was an exciting finish, and it came down to the very end.
Tennessee won. I don't care.
Chris Dickerson
Doesn't turn it
huge
over enough.
shot, does not turn it over enough, and that means that Chris is in a tough spot because he's got to be circling 5 or 6 under.
Yep.
And missing hole 15 is going to require some fireworks in the last 3.
Simon trying to cut the corner. Doesn't do so, and I think he's about to turn into trick shot Simon.
Yeah, that's about... Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
That's a face mask.
And do not hit your hand. Ow, did he?
I don't know.
Don't do that, dude. Not worth it.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, just not worth it, man. That was terrifying.
Joel, after going Thunderbird off the tee, goes Gator turnover again, because that makes sense, and bullseyes it. Just
What?
bullseyes it. Thunderbird Gator 3.
That's nuts.
It is a really strange way to play it, and a perfect way to play it, I guess.
Simon gets to circle's edge for a little highlight putt. Hopefully.
That bogey that he just took on 14 ended a par streak that started on hole 3. That has got to be one of the
13
longest
holes.
par streaks we've ever seen from anyone,
Yeah.
and especially from Simon. Simon's normally the guy that's given us 5 or 6 birdies and then like a triple bogey and then like 3 more birdies.
Yeah. He, in my opinion, is a more mature Anthony Barilla.
And he's got the wins to prove it.
Yes.
Just got the refinement of the
Yeah.
veteran leadership and the knowledge of how to finish.
Yep. First time I played with him, we were at a major championship. Talking about Simon here. We're playing great. We get to a hole that's 600 and something feet, 2-shot hole, island hole. He decides it's a good idea to just go for the island, which is tiny.
What else would you do?
Yeah, just a little 9. We were on the lead card at a major championship. He was 16, I think.
Speaking of 16, that is the hole we're on. Hole 4, par 4, 640 feet. Very important to land your disc somewhere in this area here and give yourself a very manageable approach. If you're off the fairway, we have seen it all weekend. Scrambling is so difficult to do once you're out of position on this hole. Just got to keep it in the middle. You don't need to go for anything too big. Just want to control this fairway.
It might have been 20, I don't know. He was a skinny little twerp.
I remember skinny Simon.
He was so talented. That's a great shot there from Joel. What a birdie on the last hole to bullseye with a putter.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a mid-range.
I mean, but it's deep like a putter.
Yeah. It's overstable.
Yeah.
Not straight in out of it.
That's crazy.
Chris puts himself in the middle of the fairway. Very important tee shot. Gives him an opportunity to get to 4 under. Even with 4 under, let's say he does secure this birdie. As Matteo skips way left, that's going to be a tricky approach. If he does get to 4 under, that probably means his best case scenario for advancing, as Simon has just unleashed. Huge backhand drive. Best case scenario would be setting up a birdie here, if he can get up and down, and an eagle on 17.
That last hole, Nicholas got the throw. Wow. Much needed.
Much deserved.
Nicholas got the eagle, and this round, that was the only 3 on it. And Nicholas tooted. Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
These guys just doing what they're supposed to do. I believe this is coming in as probably the easiest hole.
Second easiest, because old hole 2, which is hole 6 now in this course. And these guys are just bullseyeing this approach. This is why this is the second easiest. This is a must get for these guys. Simon, this is an attempt for the 2.
Yes.
There was no layup in Simon at all. And
remember when he used to wear his hat sideways?
yeah, he always wore the red Discmania hat just slightly tilted to the side. That's prime Simon.
Yes.
That's priming. So near bullseye star frame for
Gets him to
our
4.
car. Yeah, like I said, that's a good number to be at on hole like 13. The pressure's on now for Chris. Here it is, Paul. This is Chris's opportunity to give himself a chance to move on. He's going to need a big drive, and he'd love to land right about here to give himself a shot to try to throw the hyzer around this corner and just give himself a look for the eagle. Alden Harris so far this week has been the only player to pick up the coveted Eagle 3 on hole 17. Let's see if Chris can do that right now.
Joel ending his season on a high note, couple back-to-back birdies.
Yeah, I feel like
tough
that's
ones.
It feels good.
Oh, sit down. Yeah.
Going Onyx off the tee. Gets through the gap, but it's turning to the right.
I think he's...
Okay, it's hyzering down the hill. Okay, he's not in ideal spot, but he's not completely out of it.
Yeah, that's not a play to get the eagle right there. I believe that's a play to make sure he doesn't go in those bushes on the right. Mm-hmm. I think that if he really wants a good opportunity for eagle, he has to go faster off the tee.
Yeah, I think
that's just my opinion. That's a great for birdie play. Because you can't go...
Oh,
wow.
Gosh, what is going on? Simon going roller?
Go, flip, baby. Get the flip.
What is this? That's perfect.
That's ridiculous.
That is so ridiculous. Okay, Simon. Matty O uncorking. That is a bomb from back there in the out of bounds area.
Has to hit the tight gap too, right?
That is awesome shot. Wow.
Big shot here. Because Chris does have the dough. Oh no!
It's a double forward kick.
Okay, that's okay.
That's doable.
Yep.
And it needs to be done. It needs to be doneable in about 5 minutes.
Because he's one of the players that could totally. Whoa.
Oh, Joel! Look at that. That's gonna be a outside look for the eagle.
Because he has the distance he could get. He could get the 3 on 18. Chris.
Yes, yes, he does. All right, Simon. Can it miss everything? Oh, it can. It certainly can. All right, we have got 2 good bids for eagle. Now, Chris, most important shot of the day right here.
Great shot. It really is.
Okay, and that is short, but only 45 feet away. Very makeable.
Yeah, downhill playing about 30.
And Matty O will have that to save the par after going out of bounds off the tee shot.
Joel for eagle. Over the top. Yeah, it was chain high.
Of course.
Yeah, he did.
Of course. Doesn't want to just make the eagle. He wants to skip it in. Always entertaining. Yep.
Think that's going to do it.
Yeah, I don't see a situation where 4 under advances. I don't see a situation where 3 under advances either.
No, we needed to make that and birdie the last hole just to have any sort of chance.
The good news is that tree that he was just punching was later pronounced dead, and so he did win that battle with the left, right, left combo.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Joel in for his 3rd straight birdie. He moves to 2 under, and somehow he is overtaken second place on this card. I mean, it's kind of a consolation, but
yeah,
these guys are all well aware that at this point they are playing their last hole of the season, and hopefully they can enjoy it, because this hole is otherwise not really that enjoyable. It is a very, very hard hole.
We both know that Joel and Chris are probably going to play 35 more events this offseason. Smaller ones, but they like to grind it out. But yes, their season is over on the Pro Tour.
I asked Andrew Presnell how many events he had planned to play for the rest of the season. I thought that maybe like 5 or 6 would be a lot. Yeah. And he said he has 8 more events, I think, planned for the rest of the season. And that's like as many events as I've played all year.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the tour, like that's just incredible to think that he still has the energy to do that. Because most of these guys are looking at the finish line and just saying, please bring me home.
Yeah.
I am so tired.
Oh, no.
So this is an interesting situation because Matt Orum actually does not miss the mandatory, and that wall is not out of bounds. So he has to go over to the left and play from there because the objective is to miss this tree on the right side.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
This is not out of bounds.
The only thing you could argue is like if it hit the tree and like cross the line as it hit the tree.
It's dead center.
Oh, I thought this was an OB line. I didn't even realize. Yeah, the OB is starts there.
So
Gotcha.
he's short of the Mando and in bounds.
Gotcha.
So just a flick roller around the mandatory tree, so now he can continue playing the hole the proper way. And that's an impressive athletic maneuver from Matt Orum, hopping over the fence.
With a little Little yippee.
A little yippee.
Yeah. Still having fun. That's not going to be fun.
You know, it's kind of fun. Not really, though. It's just like, how can I get off this course as fast as possible?
Here's Chris just pitching out right behind a tree.
It's just a grueling mental challenge. This format and this course combined is just, it's just a long day.
Well, the good thing about, like, it reminds me a lot of match play. But the thing with match play is when you get your sock speed off, you can just go home early. Like, it's over.
This requires you to battle all the way through. We were talking about that a little bit today, like thinking, what if there was some incentive? Like, everyone is still guaranteed.
Stay in. Oh, through the little hole.
Yeah, of course. If there was some incentive to keep battling, you know, where if 11th place somehow was better than 12th place, would it make a difference for these guys, or is it all about getting to that final 9 or the final 18?
Yeah.
Either way.
I'm telling you right now, these guys are not this bad. They are just
Yeah.
trying to do something cool for the crowd at this point.
Well, I think it says a lot about how good these guys really are, that when they're locked in mentally, they're not making these kind of mistakes, right? Like, when these guys are focused, they're able to do some incredibly consistent and accurate and remarkable things with the disc.
Yep.
And when they're not, it's kind of like maybe going to the course and having a few brewskis with your buddy and you start getting loose. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know.
Yeah. People get loose out there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, when I'm watching this tomorrow walking around, I'm going to just be with my buddies. I'm going to be with my buddies.
Are you not going to have two hands available to sign autographs? One of your hands will be occupied with an adult beverage of some sort?
Simon, stop.
Your turn is over. You only get so many throws on one hole before we have to say you must move on.
Yep. One last dad putt. How is that just a 6?
I don't know. It seemed like the card played that one about 15 over par. So that's it. And unfortunately, we do not have a player on our coverage today moving on. But Joel finishes with a solid back 9, honestly.
Yeah.
3 under in the back 9 is a pretty good score.
It's really good.
And the front 9 would have been a little bit better. Then maybe we're talking about him moving on. But in the end, our final 4 is Paul McBeth, Ricky Wysocki, the old guard, and Isaac Robinson and Gannon Burr, the new school. And it's going to be a classic battle.
Yes, it is. And tomorrow there's no more points. That doesn't matter. It's stroke play. And if there's a tie, you go to a playoff until somebody gets beat. So this is going to be insane to watch tomorrow because they're all going to be just going ballistic. I expect to see a lot of outside the circle putts made. I think it might be a record tomorrow. I'm not kidding.
So excited about tomorrow. It is going to be an incredible finish, and these guys are playing for a record $35,000 first place payout. $9,000 for the guy that gets in 4th place.
Over under 10 outside circle 1 putts.
Twice over that. There's going to be 20 outside the circle putts made tomorrow by each player. It's going to be awesome, guys. One more round for the 2022 season, and then that's it.
That would have been the best shot ever made right there if Simon makes that.
Oh, just barely off.
See you guys tomorrow.